Hey, it's Peter from Weekly Options Advisory at ShadowTrader.net. And so after today, with this big move down in Nvidia, the big question here is what now? So you got this big move down, and if you just look at this one candle of this one stock, you might be mistakenly thinking that this is really a bad day in the markets, but it's really not that bad of a day in the markets, and we'll get into that in a second. So the market kind of being driven by this Nvidia DeepSeek thing. And in reality, however, what has this actually done to the S&P? So this is the S&P on the daily. I'm showing you the SPY here, and you can see the gap down. And where are you in relation to the range? If this is the range, are you at the midpoint or in the upper third or higher? So this would be like kind of drawing thirds here. I know this isn't perfect, but look where you are. So you're actually in the upper third of this range. So not a lot has happened essentially here. And it's no different for the QQQ. Oops. Where it's a little bit weaker, but in reality, look at where all this chop is occurring. It's right here. You're in the soup, kind of right in the middle of it. So this is what's making this market a little bit difficult. And to me, the reason I'm doing this as a video for this shadow short is to answer the question, what now? Is I think there's nothing really to do now. I think you just kind of wait it out and see what happens for a couple of reasons, which I'll get to in a second. But also that if it was more systemic, the market would be lower. And if it was more systemic and affecting everything, then you wouldn't see this action right here. Look at this. This is financials on the daily. Okay, look at the all-time high right here. And look at how the financials move. They broke out of this balance area, and they haven't stopped. And today was a very, very bullish day. It was one of the strongest sectors, and it went right to the all-time high. So that's financials. Let's look at healthcare as another one that was an outperformer today. XLV, healthcare. I mean, look at the breakout. Huge, huge breakout. You got trend line break here, and then it goes. So that's another example. And a third example would be in the XLY, which is consumer discretionary. Notice that when it gapped down, it went right here to the top of the range instead of staying underneath that range, which is definitely much, much more bullish right there. So that's probably a buy from there. And I'll also mention consumer staples as well, right? Which I believe I talked about in the weekend edition not that long ago, saying that this sector was poised to move up off these lows because you had this kind of action here and this action here, and it just kind of was broken trend. And look what happened today. I mean, that is a huge sign of relative strength, and it's also a huge sign of a rotational market. So don't look at just the weakness in Nvidia and think, oh, this is so bearish, like I got to do something, I got to be short. First of all, people who were shorting today during the course of trade today, they were not rewarded, right? They were definitely hurt, and I hope that's not one of you. But look at this 5-minute chart right here of the ES. Obviously a key area right here that the market really cares about for whatever reason, 60.13. And it's funny, isn't that very close to that 60.11 that I talked about in the video, right? Very interestingly enough, right there. And the overnight activity obviously went way below, but once the market opened, what really happened? Nothing. You couldn't even get lower. Like this is your opening drive here at the 9:30 mark. And you couldn't breach this area no matter how hard it tried. It just couldn't. And it made everybody stuck short. Even here, you had this move above the trend line, 100% retracement. It still couldn't get down there. So you got to look at this up and ask yourself, like, where are these sellers? And again, I'm answering the question, what now? I don't know, really, because it's kind of middling. And there's a lot of rotation going on. But the main thing is, don't just blindly be shorting this market, right? And the last thing that I just want to mention, and again, back to the weekend edition, is this is what we're up against this week. And it's some serious stuff. So if you're trading anything longer than in the day time frame, I would be very careful with that in terms of anything, especially that you're putting out to this expiry here, like for Friday, because you've got so much going on before it, right? Consumer confidence tomorrow morning. This is a biggie, the FOMC decision. These two are biggies right here. And then look at all the tech. Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, Apple, Amazon. All the tech is happening over just 2 sessions. And that's all going to have a big impact, I think, on if you were to be targeting, say, weekly options for this Friday. All right. So be careful out there. My overall take here is I don't see anything majorly bearish. Does that mean that it's bullish? No. There is a door number 3, and that's what most people miss. I constantly get messages saying, well, if you're not bearish, then you must be bullish. What do you like? I don't really like anything here. That's the answer, okay? There's always a door number 3, and that is the neutral option, all right? Be safe out there. I wish you good trading, and good night. Hey, this is Peter from ShadowTrader.net, and I just wanted to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you'd like to trade live with me every day in my weekly options advisory, then check out the link in the description below. I wish you good trading, and I'll see you in the room.